How the fuck did it end up being this time before we're starting?
We talked a lot today. We had mornings. We had to be each other's therapy session.
That's fair. We had some shit.
Because, Christ.
Jesus Christ. Something's going on in astrology. I just know.
Oh, yeah.
When's another moon coming?
What's in retrograde?
What's in Gatorade today?
What's in microwave today? Oh, I swear to God. Plus, I'm like, it's about to be that time of the month, so.
That's not it for me. God, I wish every single time when I start bleeding, honest to God, I'm just like, pumpkin carving kit.
I don't even want to tell you the visual I just had when you said that.
It's probably the visual I had in mind. Question. Am I as blocked out on the phone camera as I am on the laptop? Okay. So I'm like, wait a minute, you can't see my face.
If it bothers you, you can go scoot that over.
I don't give a fuck. Yeah. I don't give a fuck. I was just making sure.
We need to remember to look at that camera.
Oh, yeah.
Happy 420, guys. Oh, this is our 420 episode. Episode 11. 11-7. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said that so aggressively.
Let me start by saying, when I ate the baked good I did think that I didn't realize that we'd be starting it right as I was peeking on it. So I'm gonna apologize now. I thought we'd be halfway through the podcast before I felt this vision. That's just not true.
Late.
It's just not true. You're the one you need to get that down fast.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Ooh, I'm crying.
But with that in mind, Saige and Dom, Ethereal Podcast.
Thanks for introducing me.
Bad when I had to do the intro.
Yes, thank you for joining us today. So we're gonna go a little off script this morning, this afternoon. Just because, like we were saying, there is something in the microwave today.
There's something in the microwave.
Something is in retrograde because myself, their self, and a few other people that we know have all had mornings.
Just
one hell of a morning.
I try to this is probably, I don't know. I try every time I have like a shitty morning, I just tell myself, I'm like, it's okay. Yin and yang. So if it's a shitty morning, it's gonna be a great day. I just gotta get through this shitty morning.
And I feel like it's already making its way into the yang for us because since you got here, I've been having a good time.
Yeah, I feel pretty fun.
We've been laughing, we had a little therapy session for like basically 2 hours. That's why we're late filming today. And then we smoked a little hooey. Anyways.
Hello,
wee. And so yeah, feeling pretty good now. Talked about all that stuff. But yeah, this morning, like, I was telling Saige that I just recently, for the last, like, probably 2 weeks, my inner teen has been just yelling at me. Like, screaming for me to pay attention to her. Because over the last year or so is when I finally discovered shadow work and healing, accessing all your inner trauma and all this nice stuff. And inner child. So I've been comforting my inner child for the better part of the last year and completely neglecting my inner teen, not even like remembering or realizing that she was there and needed attention also. And like, I think that's where a lot of my anger still resides, is with her and not with my inner child. My inner child was like scared and like sad and hurt, but my inner teen is just like, so confused.
Well, next you were saying, because my inner teen's the same way. Like my inner child was very sad and anxious, and my inner teen had like more of the anger.
Because I wonder, like,
yeah, I was like, because when you think about it, like, anger typically is the emotion you get because of a different emotion you're feeling. So it's like all those years of anxiety and sadness built up until it became anger because it wasn't fixed.
Right.
That's why I feel like all they're like teenagers are angry. It's because they need shit to feel.
Let me just say this. If you guys are ever experiencing an emotion and you feel as though you've done everything to process that emotion, but you're still not feeling right, you're still not feeling okay, a lot of the times it is likely that that was not actually the emotion that you needed to process and feel. It's masking another emotion. So, you know.
That's a hard one. That's like the emotion wheel. Try to look at that. I try to look at that whenever I have a hard time.
Definitely. If you guys have not heard of the emotion wheel chart, Google it. It's so helpful.
It really is. Whenever I
because there's only like 6 core emotions?
Yeah, it's like there's only a few core, 5 or 6, and there's all these expanded, but it's like whenever I first started with my therapist, he showed me the emotion wanted me to use it because I had the problem everyone else does, which is I would label things as good and bad, which is incorrect. Nothing is good or bad. And saying it is what logs your memory different. Mm-hmm. So every time I would say, this makes me feel bad, or I feel bad, he'd be like, what do you actually feel? He's like, because it's not bad, isn't what you feel. He's like, tell me what you feel. And it really like
bad is a category.
Yes. He's like, you've categorized something that doesn't need a category. That's the autism. He's like, it's not a category.
No, oh my god.
He's like, it's just an emotion. It's not a category. You can't group it. He's like, I don't even want to.
Emotions are normal. They're a part of life. And I saw this video.
Humans are emotion.
Literally. And I saw this video and it was like, the first thing that we do when we have an emotion is we ask ourselves why. And that's like kind of like shaming, shooting it down. Like, because when someone's like, hey, I'm going to go to work tomorrow morning, you're not like, oh, why? It's a part of life. They go to work. Yeah. So like being sad is a part of life. Yeah. It's part of the duality. So
that is something that can be really hard.
So it's like, I've been trying to get out of the habit of asking why. Like, what is causing you to feel this way at the moment? Like, maybe that's a better way to phrase it.
Instead of saying, I feel like it's just like how you communicate with your mind should be how you want people to communicate with you. So when you're feeling sad, how do you want someone to approach you? Do you just want them to go, well, why are you feeling sad?
That could be triggering for a lot of people.
Do you do it to yourself? Yeah, it's like if I'm sitting there crying, you're just like, why the fuck are you sad? I'd be like, what the fuck are you coming at me for? So I'm just like, literally, it's like it's like you're supposed to talk to yourself the way you want other people to talk to you. You're supposed to be your own best friend.
And your inner voice is programmed too. Yeah. So of course it's programmed with all these people that have talked down to you and
peer program. Peer program.
I love you.
Oh man. It's one of those things. I feel like that's why when I try to talk to people, sometimes I use a bunch of different fucking metaphors. So I'm trying to get my point across because a lot of people in this world think very literal. Not a bad thing, but I don't think as literal. Sometimes I do. Don't get me wrong. Like for instance, I do like the autism literal, which is like if you say you want to come over tonight, I think that means all night I have to be there. You asked me to be there all night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just realized that was a thing. So I was like, you can leave. You don't want to do that anymore. So I was like, I don't know, what am I supposed to know how I want to do tonight? He's like, just do whatever you want to do.
Literally.
Like, so it's just like, I don't know, I feel like one of those things.
That's definitely the autism. But I was about to comment on what we were talking about too. Dang it. I don't know, but we can circle back to like
it'll circle back.
Yeah, we can circle back to the inner teen stuff. That I guess we dealt with this morning, like just constantly getting so frustrated over little things, and I feel like a lot of it was because I was just simply not breathing.
Yeah,
it's like holding my breath and getting so angry.
Yeah, if I walked in the closet, I was just like not breathing and like, what do I wear? And then I'd be like, I can't find anything.
Yeah, this one had a mental breakdown over picking their outfit today.
That's often. It's way too often.
Okay, but same with Brittany. So like that must programmed. Be some.
Here's the thing. I think I know where that's from, actually. Because like if we weren't dressed a certain way, like we would have to go change if it wasn't like presentable. So I think that's actually what that is, now that I'm high enough to think about it. I think it's that, like, because we want to make sure we look presentable and we're scared that we're not having someone view it. Like,
yeah, because whenever
it's like, I need someone to tell me it looks okay because I am not used to judging that for myself.
Right. Brittany will be like, I don't know, what if, I can't wear this in front of family or whatever. I'm just like,
yeah.
I'm like, what?
And so, yeah, exactly. I feel
What
like it's
do
one of
you
those things, like,
mean?
if you're someone who, like,
I just don't understand.
I feel like it's one of those, like, parental, like, approving your outfits thing. You're so used to having someone have to approve it that when it's just up to you, you're like, am I making the right decision? Is this right to wear? Does this match? Does this look right?
Okay, I definitely have to constantly ask Brittany if things match, because I just, like, didn't have that ability as a child.
That's fair.
But, like, I guess I never had that problem because my mom and, like, grandma pretty much bought me all of the clothes that I wore. And so
That's fair. You didn't have options.
I didn't have options. The clothes that I had were always acceptable to them because they bought them or took me shopping for them. So I never shopped for myself until I really, like, turned, like, 16, 17, had a car, and could start driving to Hot Topic. And at that point, I wore nothing but black skinny jeans and band t-shirts. So.
Did you have, like, a full spectrum rainbow of skinny jeans?
No, I had red ones and black ones, gray ones, white ones, but I didn't have all the other cool colors. I wasn't bold enough for that. I was very, like, bullied into not expressing myself.
That's fair. I had rainbow.
So I used to wear
skinny
colors
jeans.
as a kid.
I wore, like, rainbow skinny jeans, but I would wear them and then I would wear black tops because people always told me that if you wear color on the bottom, it would even out that because I was, like, overweight at the top. So I'd wear black and then wear color so it looked more balanced. That was why I did the colors.
I hate people.
Yeah, that's why I did the colors, because I was like, oh, it'll even out because, like, my legs are too skinny for my top body. So my brain, like, correlated that shit. I can't wear jeans anymore, though, because of skinny jeans. So I'm still mad about that era of my life. I literally permanently fucked up the nerves in my legs from skinny jeans.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. That's why I have to constantly be moving myself, because, like, what happened was, it was my fault, okay? I had skinny jeans, and I mean skinny jeans. You know, when they first came around, it was skinny. They were not like the soft. They weren't like legging material, bro. Like, they were like real jean and really tight. And I just would be lazy and go to sleep. So I would sleep with my legs, and so it cut off circulation a lot. And one time I slept and I woke up and my legs were, like, numb for like 2 days. So I went to the doctors. I was like, what's wrong with me? And it was literally like I compressed the nerves. So, like, that's why I have to constantly move my legs, because they'll go numb.
Wow.
Fun fact.
Sage, that is.
Yeah, so don't sleep in your skinny jeans.
Damn. It's how tight were your skinny jeans?
Bro, tight. It was when skinny jeans first came around. I had to be as tight as Nick Jonas's.
See, I don't think I ever wore them that tight because they would just make the fat in my legs, like, stick out. But also,
here's the
like,
thing. Everyone was like, your legs are incredible. So I wanted people to, I never had issues with my legs because everyone was like, I wish I had your legs. They're so nice. So I wanted people to see my legs, but it was the upper body. Yeah, everyone would be like, oh my God, your legs are so good. I wish I had your legs. So I was never self-conscious about my legs.
I was always self-conscious about my legs.
Mine was the upper body. My stomach.
My stomach, definitely. Like, I sit down and I still all the time do this with my shirt. Like,
I try to force myself to, like, I'm okay with it. Like, when I'm at home and I start noticing I do that, I'll be like, just, like, force my stomach out. I'm like, look at it.
It is natural.
Like, it is here. Let
me just say, guys, the only reason I'm skinny now is because I do jiu-jitsu and I've been fat my entire life.
Let me clarify before.
Yes, because I've definitely been a fat kid my entire life. I've been bullied and shamed for years, and like, at this point, I can't even call myself fat anymore. And I realized that the other weekend, I was like, damn, what the hell? Like, I actually have a jawline now, and I don't understand.
Like,
it's a very weird feeling. It's like I like it, but I definitely am not, like,
used to it,
ego absorbed or wrapped up, because, like, I said this to Brittany, I was like, look, I'm glad that I was, like, not attractive when I was younger and popular, because my ego would be too big. I'm glad I had to, like, build a good personality. And
if I look like Brittany, I tell all the time,
she's a very good person for being so attractive.
Whenever we were younger, I used to tell her, like, deadass, like, if I came out, if we're the fact that we could have switched by, like, it literally just half of the genetics. It was the same parents, so we literally couldn't have looked like each other.
The fact that you tell them what you told us at lunch with your family the other weekend when you were talking about the diet fads with moms. Oh my God!
Okay,
blew my mind.
So, when for instance, let's say you take this person that can have a child, right? And they're in their 20s or whatever, and they're doing a lot of fad diets. They're doing these methods that, aren't best. They're not really eating that much, all these crazy fad diets, whatever. They have a child. Genetically, because of the fact that your body thinks that you went through like a famine, like historically it thinks that you have been through a famine, it gives your child higher fat cells to survive the famine. So
I heard that shit. I said,
Yeah.
what the hell?
it's also like crazy. Like when I learned that, it made me like, it blew my mind because there are so many like fad diet women that have children and that are really mean to them because they're bigger. And I'm like, dude, that was honestly your fault. like, I'm like, how you?
And then you bully your child and give them a bunch of trauma because they're fat and it was your fault.
Yeah, and you're like, how does that? 2 + 2 = 6.
Precisely.
It's just how it is. Yickety yak.
What?
I said yickety yak.
Yeah, they told me that and I was like, whoa.
It blew my mind.
That was a fact. And I was like, my mom definitely was very, very thin her entire life up until she had me. And I know Mom, I love you if you're watching this, like, no shame or anything, but she definitely experienced eating disorders.
Well, let's
throughout her
say
life. With how thin she was, like, and she would never talk about it directly, but it was hinted at. But like,
people underestimate how common.
And
like,
I was on
cancers
the
within
fat
the
kid,
spectrum.
so
Well, that's the thing. So
checks
like, love my mother. She's probably watching this. But the biggest thing is like, I know that she was doing fad diets. Even if I don't forget, obviously she did it when I got older. She could have done it then. But my reasoning for why I don't believe that is because of my grandmother. My grandmother is that way. So she probably raised my mother that way, which is very not shocking. That first kid comes out as me. And I'm just saying she probably wasn't doing fad diets when she got pregnant for Nick and Brittany. And
No, because
Nick,
it was too soon.
pregnant. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm just like, and they're skinny as hell.
Thad was skinny as hell, like, and now he's only starting to bulk up because he's like growing into a man.
I'm saying,
But
I
like,
really think that
he
even
was
like
literally
Austin was accidental. Like she wasn't gonna have kids anymore, so she was back doing her like diet stuff, trying to get in shape. And then Austin is bigger like me, like in the sense of like we're not as skinny built as Nick and Brittany.
Straight up.
So I'm just like that's so crazy to think that it was literally just like Roddy just probably thought that it was like a failure. We were starving.
It blows my mind.
It's so fascinating. Science is so interesting.
I hope this never happens. If I ever decide to have a child one day, I will make sure that I'm eating extremely healthy so that they don't come out with their bodies thinking that they're in famine.
Yeah, and be like, I think we're actually going to starve to death, so we should probably fix this go around with a better remix.
Oh my goodness.
That's why I love to call people remixes. It's so funny to me. I said somebody before and they kind of took offense to it, which made it funnier to me. Because I was like, you ever think about how like you and your like sibling, it's just a remix, like you could have been them and they could have been you, and they were like, because they didn't really like their siblings, so they didn't really like that comment. But I'm like, it's fair, it's true. You're just a remix. Like I could literally be Brittany, I could be Nick, I could be Austin. I just happened to be born when I was in the environment that I was in and raised the way I was, so I'd be.
Right. And do you ever think about like the or have you ever heard this concept theory with reincarnation that your bloodline family, you reincarnate as different members?
I have heard that. I could see that could be a thing.
Like in my next life, my mom could be my daughter, kind of thing.
Look, when I heard that kind of shit and I thought about that, I was like,
yeah, no, I didn't like that. I was like, nope, don't even want to think
when
about
I first thought about that, I did not like it at all.
Now I like it.
Yeah, I didn't like it. One day I did this, like I wrote this letter to burn for my father. And when I read the letter outside, I was pretending that he was like,
just had an epiphany.
He came and saw it. Like I was imagining he was in the in-between and watching what I was saying to him. I think it was from my past experience. I just assumed that happened. So I'm like, if you're gonna feel every hurt that you've done to me, I want you to have this moment. which was me talking directly to him, hurting, like feeling everything he made me feel. And I was like, I want to talk to you about everything right now. And I just like started saying all these things. It was very, very therapeutic. I lit it and, I was like doing my little thing. But I had this like moment after I did this meditation where it's like you'd like imagine my father as a child, like a 6-year-old, because I was like when my memories came in. So I imagined that instead of me, what happened to me at 6 happened to my father, and I was actually his parent. And I was like, and I had this moment. I literally remember crying, and I was just like, shit. I had a really weird, I had this like shit moment, and then I was like, you know what? I was like, at first I hated the idea because I was like, I hate my dad. I don't want him to be my kid. But I was like, I hate my dad because of his parents raised him so bad that he ended up being not him. I don't hate my dad. I hate who he's pretending to be.
I have had the thought of, based on this theory, I've had the thought of,
I could raise my dad someday.
I would love to raise my mom and be kind to her and show. I journaled the other day, and I was just like, because I was really still feeling all shook up about everything that happened last week. Got into a really big fight with my mom, and it was not good. I was triggered, and I definitely said some super mean things. And but I literally journaled. I was like, I wish that, oh God, I hope I don't cry. I wish that you knew real love, like real unconditional love.
Yeah.
Like, I really hope that you can learn that in this lifetime, because the love that you think is love is toxic. It's hurtful. It's hurt me my entire life. And I want to show you what I have learned. And that's why I'm trying so hard to work on this relationship. But I just can't make her understand it. So I need to heal a little bit more to where I can be less reactive and actually have those conversations with her. And hopefully
that is ultimately like why I had to separate so long from my dad. Like, I mean, obviously,
emotional bitch.
Obviously I accidentally missed the Easter thing. What happened was I know, and I wanted food too. Here's what happened. Friday was a weird night emotionally, so I was like, I'm gonna have a good night tonight. Fuck it. So I did. I went out to the bar, got drunk, did karaoke, was a celebrity. As a celebrity, we tore down the house. We tore down the house. People were like, "What?"
I heard the Snapchat.
It was great.
Yep.
Felt like a celebrity. And then we go back. I'm dancing on the stage. I mean, I just would have never, like, younger me would be so proud and shocked to see that, like, I was on stage when it was literally just me and Jaden. No one else was on stage. It was just us two. And I'm glowing under the black light. She's glowing under the black light. And we're just dancing. And people were like, dude, you was kidding me. Everyone's really having fun. I was like, yeah. It's like, so, like, it was great. However, I didn't go to sleep till about 7 a.m. and I totally forgot that we were supposed to meet at 12.
I didn't realize you went to bed that late.
Yeah, I didn't wake up till 2. I woke up, y'all were already gone. Like, I already left the place. I was like, oh, shit. I was like, well, but that is why, like, I had to separate for a long time because I just was too reactive.
It was a very quick lunch. Yeah.
I was like, I need to not be as reactive.
That's why I asked you for advice with my mom, because I feel you're a little bit ahead in the relationship with your dad, and the dynamic's very similar.
Yeah, I think it really is. That's why I was like, yeah, I definitely think you just need to, like,
never listen to this. I told my mom I started a podcast. She didn't say anything, and then I thought she just didn't hear me. And then I told her again. She just looked at me and she was like, Dominique. And I was like,
you're like,
immediately triggered. I was like, okay, I don't know about it.
I don't know if my dad knows how to talk. What did you?
We did.
I was like, because I didn't even know.
We did.
What does he know it's about? Oh yeah, because I asked because you were like, he asked what it was about or something. I was like,
yeah, he did ask what it was about. But he seemed pretty cool. I don't know if he'll ever watch it.
Here's the thing. I will say this. I'm good for my father if he ever does see this. I know that if he does see it, there is one thing I know about him, and while he does have a fragile ego and he will get upset if, like, I'm saying something that's negative about him, my dad is also...
He will reflect on it.
He will reflect on it, and he'll be able to take a step back from his ego after he feels whatever. Like, he'll be in his mood. But anytime we've ever had anything where, like, I said something that, like, offended him or made him mad or something, like, kind of, like, attacky, like, towards him, or, like, how I felt about him or whatever the fuck,
Like, we would have our spat, but like in the end, it would always end with him saying, I'm really sorry, I want to figure out how we can fix this. But he just he just doesn't have the skills yet to do what he wants to do. So it's just, we're both just trying to build the skills so we can figure out how to do that.
Right.
Because like, that's really all it is. It's like, I see that he really does, he will try. He just takes a minute.
I just wish he would believe that.
I wish he would believe better of himself.
Yeah. Well, that he can be healed and heal himself. And
I feel like it's really sad for anyone. Like, I mean, I felt this way even when I was working as a nurse, especially in the psych hospital. It was really sad because it was like, obviously I get it because I was there like a year before I started working. So like, I totally understood what they were at. But it was like when I was there and I'd be talking to them, like, it's really sad to know I was here. Like, it's so sad to know that you're here because you don't believe in yourself. And that's the only reason you're here. Because if you really believe in yourself, you know that you're going to get this and we got this and we're going to do that. I'm like, but at the core of it, it's because you don't believe in yourself. And that's so sad. It's like, you don't believe that you can get through it. And it's like, you don't realize how strong you are.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah. People downgrade. I mean, Sam says I do this too, but like everyone does, we downgrade how strong we really are. Like, we don't think we're as strong as we are. And then we're like, oh, we're actually pretty fucking strong.
Oh my God. Yeah.
We have got through everything and done better than we thought others would do. So we can't be doing that bad.
Definitely.
I tell Sam that a lot because he's like, I've just been through. I was like, you've been through so much shit and ended up so much better than you think you should have ever ended up. That shows you how strong you are.
Straight up.
I'm like, bro.
And that one is strong.
I was like, I'll probably be in the jail, honestly, probably.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Sam, have you ever watched this? If I grew up with anything that you've gone through, I definitely would not have made it. I don't.
Yeah, like you were such.
No.
Like,
I would have unalived myself.
Yeah, like,
and I would be a sea cucumber right now as punishment. Like,
you think you got a sea cucumber?
I don't know, man. I saw this funny TikTok, and it was like, when you unalive yourself, like, that's so not cool with the universe. So,
oh yeah,
you have to like get some form of punishment.
Sea cucumber? Why
they lived for like 400 years, and they just voted me up.
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my God.
Yeah. I saw a really funny TikTok about it. And
I did not. Wow. That's a fucking long time.
He was like, oh, come on, man. I wasn't that bad. He was like, oh, when you were boofing your grandma's perk 30s. And I was like, okay.
I love to sit and think about like karma, right? And like the idea of the karma, like for different lifetimes. Because sometimes when something's happening to me, I go, is this karma for something I did in this lifetime? Or what the fuck did I do last time? And I'll be sitting there like, what did I do to deserve this? I'm like, I'm so curious. Like, I wish I could get a rap sheet of like, here's the karma from your other life that you're getting in this life. I just would love to see what I did. You don't have to tell me what's going to happen. Just show me what I did. Because I'm so curious.
What if we can access that in the Akasha?
There is theory about that. I feel like the problem with me, the reason why I get delving into that personally feels overwhelming to me is because my brain can't just be simple. My brain can't just go, let's see what life we're in for this. Because my brain goes, well, time doesn't exist. They're all happening at the same time. So how do you access just one? They're all happening at the same exact moment. How do you know which one is happening at what? What happened before this one? How do you know? It's all at the same time. And I'm like, and I get overwhelmed. And I'm like, I don't know. Just a peek in my brain. So yeah.
Honey, I'm so sorry.
How do I go? What was my life before this? How? It's not linear.
That's
so
fair.
What's your life before this? What if the life that I'm getting karma from in this life was my life that technically happens after this one?
What if the karma you received throughout a lifetime is from several other ones?
That's what I'm saying. What if I'm still getting punished for what I did in ancient Egypt?
It's a brain overload. I can't handle it anymore.
So my brain broke.
It's a no from me. I really can't.
Yeah, so that's how my brain works. Time is really tricky to me because my brain just immediately is just it's so funny that it turns, when you're you're on the brink of a complete mental shattering and you just can't help but laugh. Every time I start thinking about
those, they scare me.
They do, but like
I feel a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, they definitely can be. I've done enough about time now that it makes me so uncomfortable that like it's hilarious to me. Because I also can feel when it makes other people uncomfortable. It's again, that's an autism problem I think I have where I do kind of enjoy that.
I love the
in doses.
concept of time.
It's
And I remember the
so
first time
tricky.
I watched a video of it trying to explain it. It was, I think it was Spirit Sciences.
Yeah, it's probably
Video
the one
about
also.
time. And I was so freaked out. I was like,
It had me
I was like,
fucked
"Wait,
up.
what?" And I was not understanding some things while understanding things wrong, other things wrong. But when that finally clicked for me, I was like,
It's really trippy. When I first started hearing about time, it brought me on a weird spiral of hypothesis because I was like, what if I was my father's dad? And I was like, I fucked up bad, and that's why he was so mean to me. Weird loops. So like, how do you know?
oh my
Possibilities are
god,
endless.
what if I was my crazy,
It's
foolish
like, well, he
great
died
grandma?
well before I was born, so sure, could be, maybe.
Oh my god.
There's no way I can prove yes or no.
Oh my
Trippy concepts.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I love time. It's so trippy and stupid.
I love it though. I say I don't like it, but I love to.
Did you know there are some
Theorize
countries
things.
that are in different years because they don't have our same calendar?
Yeah,
It's 2050 in some places.
that's fucking weird.
Like, how does that work? You know, like, you go there, it's 2050. Everything you do is dated 2050. Then you go back. That's why people think time travelers exist. They come back like, I got a signed paper from a picture from 1952. Like somebody just saying it's 1952. Time is so stupid and unfake. Like, what you mean? Go there and they're like, yo, in 2050, this is how it is. Well, in 2050, it is how it is there. I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna come back and I'm like, this is what happens in 2050.
I would just be like so confused, honestly. I just wouldn't know what to do. Oh,
So
speaking
weird.
of confusion, I forgot to talk about the being confused as a
That's
teenager. Oh,
a fucking awful emotion, is confusion.
I agree.
It's
That's what I've been feeling a lot.
confusion is
last
such a
couple of
triggering
weeks.
thing because when you're confused, it literally just means your brain is asking you 1,000 questions and you don't have an answer to it. So it's like, it's so like, you're like, this is overwhelming. I don't know what to do. I'm so confused.
Exactly. And then like if you've had a life where people have gotten mad at you for being confused,
Yeah, and that would, yeah.
then you have a very short fuse in your brain when you are confused because you start freaking out and worrying that someone is going to get mad at you
I agree.
for being confused.
Let me tell you.
But confusion and sadness have been the two main emotions that my inner teen felt, along with anger. But I think anger was basically just the mask, because I would get angry that people weren't being patient or weren't understanding me, whatever was going on. Anger was a big thing. I think it's hilarious that my sister used to always tell me, you have anger issues, and I'm like, no, literally screaming at each other. And I'm like, okay, I definitely had and still have some anger issues. Obviously, they're not near as grave at this point in my life.
No, you were like, whenever I think of you, and this might just because of how my brain memorizes people, like it categorizes them. Like there was a time where like when I thought of you, like anger problems like popped up as like a tag where it's like I don't usually like yeah, she just gets angry like a normal person. It doesn't seem like it's like I mentioned like a anger, like excessive anger.
Definitely not.
Like everyone gets angry.
Yeah. So I still have been, there's still bursts of it here and there where it's just I get in a triggered state
Mm-hmm.
and that inner teen comes out. And so like that's when I still deal with it. And now that's becoming apparent to me that that's what I need to work on healing. And just work with her and explain things, you know, just like I did to my inner child, but even in more depth at this point, because we're talking about 14 through 19-year-old me. So there's a lot to work with. High school. Oh no. Arnar. Good.
And that same notion, but lighter, is that a thing that I noticed with my inner teen was how upset and disappointed she was at me, like current me, because I wasn't processing that for a while, and then I'd sat down and I was like, trying to really figure out what's going on. I'm like, why? And I was like, you're upset with me. And I'm like, why? Like, I'm doing everything. Like, our life is so much better. And it literally was just like, because remember all these things we said we were going to do when we finished school, when we were in our 20s, we're almost out of our 20s and we haven't done any of it. And I was like, because I kept saying, when we're out of school, I'll be able to do what you want to do. I can focus on it then. And I just didn't. That's why I forced myself to go do karaoke, and I've been doing that work. So I'm like, I would do that, and I just didn't.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, I was really upset at myself because I wasn't doing what I promised myself I would do. Because I kept saying, well, we can't right now because we're focused on school. We're focused on this, so we don't have time for all that.
I'm going to have to reflect on that.
Yeah, I'm like, I have time. I just wasn't doing it.
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay. So that's why I started, even things that I didn't really care to do anymore, I'm like, well, I said I would always do it, so I'm going to do it.
Right. Yeah. And that's funny because, like, lately, we're supposed to move to the South Shore, but we're having trouble finding a house. So there's all these projects that we've been wanting to start and do around here, but we're like, no, we'll wait till we move to the new house.
Mm-hmm.
And like, so we've just been kind of bored with all these projects in mind that we don't want to start because we're waiting on things to line up. And I'm like, I had a conversation with Brittany and I was like, I don't want to continue to wait and put all of these things off for us moving into the new house. Let's just do them and we can bring them all with us to the new house. Like, yeah, it might be a little bit more to transfer over and it might be a little bit more of a pain, but
more of a pain.
Still, we have these things started and it's like a lot of the things like are things that need to grow over time.
Yeah, it's like it's not gonna be immediate. So why not start it? That's the biggest thing, like that like procrastination of being like when it's the right time. It's like there is no right time.
There's literally never a right time to start it.
Whenever there's something I'm like, okay, I need to do this, but then like I'm really struggling to get myself to do it. Ever since I read Be Here Now, helped a lot. First of all, that book's incredible. I want like the actual like physical copy because I paid for it and I read it all on my phone. I've read it like twice, and I love it. But like I remind myself whenever, because the thing they say in it is when he's like, you have something you need to benefit you, but you're having a hard time, and you're like, oh, I'm waiting for the right time, right moment, whatever. It's like, where am I here? What time is it now? Nothing exists but this moment. So there is no future. So if you need to do it, you need to do it now. That's the only time you can do it. You can't do it in the future. You have to do it now. And that's something I've been like trying to like really, really, where I'm like,
me too.
Okay, I'm like, I need to do the dishes. Oh, I'll do that later. I'm like, well, I'm thinking about it now. It needs to be done. I'm not doing anything else. So if we get it done now, later we can just relax. And then that present moment later is relaxing and not doing something at the end of the night. So it's like I started lining up. I saw this TikTok with this girl where she like set up your life.
ADHD does not allow me to do things sometimes on the spot. I see something I'm like, I cannot physically do it.
No, I struggle. That's just something I'm trying to like get myself slowly get better at. I started learning what time of day are better. Like I can do like different things, different times of the day easier.
I like doing the dishes in the morning.
Yeah. I like doing like cleaning.
I will not do the dishes at the night. In the night. Very rarely.
I hate it. Yeah, it's like I absolutely hate it.
It's only if like there's a bunch and
like
we need to cook.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things. Like I don't know. So I was I try to be the best partner I can be to future me, so that I'm always presently having an incredible partner that set up things ready for me to enjoy life. So I'll set up what I need. Like if I know like, oh, sometimes I'll think like, what am I doing tomorrow? I'll write my to-do list. Sometimes I'll pick what I want to eat, so that when I wake up, I'm just like, oh look,
you're excited.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh look, like especially if I like prep food. Like sometimes I'll prep it.
I love doing
yes,
that.
like I'll prep it, and then when I wake up, I'm like, thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing this, so I don't have to do it this morning when I first wake up. So I don't want to do it as soon as I wake up. So it's like you just like be your own little partner that way.
Back into the habit too of going outside in the grass in the morning, putting my feet barefoot.
Yes.
Right within the first 20 minutes of
yes, so important. Monumental differences. I remember when I first started seeing my therapist, and that was all he kept telling me. He's like, you should go barefoot outside more. He's like, you ever go barefoot outside?
Yeah, it's very therapeutic, and I actually recently started doing this little it's a cars routine. I have no idea what it stands for. But you just kind of like, it takes you 6 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And you just like rotate everything,
I see what you're
each
saying.
joint
Okay.
at a time.
I want to start
what are you
doing
thinking?
mobility training.
I've been doing that for about 6 months, and highly recommend.
Because
Highly recommend.
there's a lot of things, and like, you know, I don't think about it.
Pain in my knees anymore.
That's the thing, like I just know that whenever I am, like, for instance, when I'm on shrooms, when I feel at one and happy and at peace and just glad to be in this body and to be here experiencing this, what am I doing? Stretching, moving, thinking how good everything feels.
Yes.
We want to be
My
mobile.
thoughts when I'm doing yoga and like I'm like, oh yes, feels
Yes.
so good, and like I get into such a meditative state.
Mm-hmm. I want to start, like, I keep saying that I'm going to start doing where, like, I do yoga and then I do a meditation. Like, I want to get it started where I wake up, I do barefoot grounding, come inside, do yoga, and then do meditation. The problem is, I just have never
I do
actually
that,
done yoga.
but it's grounding with meditation, yoga,
Sometimes I do that.
yoga / stretching routine.
Yeah, see, I do a lot of
yoga.
I'll stretch,
but then I
don't
go
do yoga.
Then I go to jiu-jitsu after.
I keep
So-
saying I'm going to, like, start doing, like, the yoga videos on, like, YouTube. There's a lot of people that do, like, different level ones, all kinds of different ones. I just haven't yet to.
Okay,
A stretch, I just don't
if
know.
I sat with you and did a little routine that I go through, would you be able to like remember the routine? Or we can even record
Yeah, I was
video
going to say,
of
I
it.
can just record it.
I don't know, my memory's crazy sometimes. Like I've done 2 or 3 different yoga routines with a few people, and like I remember every single pose, and so I incorporate them all, and just depending on like what's
What you're
tight
feeling,
in
yeah.
my body and what needs to be stretched, I'll change
Yeah,
it
like
up
that's
a little
how,
bit.
like, that's the thing. Like, I want to learn yoga because, like,
And
I
I've
can
added a lot of
stretch.
ability to
Yeah, it's like I
yoga.
know how to, like, stretch, but it's like I'll stretch whatever needs to be stretched and or whatever. But it's like I don't really know a lot of, like, proper stretching techniques for different areas, like especially like the more like niche like
Mhm.
spots. I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck to do. Like sometimes I did this yoga pose one time. I tried, that is. And I did it, and I was like, when I stood back up, I was like, I don't think I knew that was a part of my body. I don't even understand what moved, what stretched. I don't get it.
When I started doing yoga is when I realized that like one, people are so numb.
Yes, that's valid.
Through like diet, trauma, this, that, and the other. Like, oh my god, don't even get me started. But like, I can feel down to the muscle what's bothering me when it's bothering me, and like people in jiu-jitsu will tell me, they're like, you're always hurt, and I'm like, well,
I'm just aware.
I'm just aware of it. You guys are always constantly getting hurt too, but you guys are just letting the injuries kind of develop.
Stack.
Some of them, not all
Yeah.
of them, but a few of the guys definitely don't rehab
general,
their
yeah.
bodies. And if you look at all of the major jiu-jitsu players, they do intense rehab, like almost just as much of hours spent on the mat they're spending taking care of their body and
In
you
a
know.
weird way, I feel like it's kind of an ego thing, because I feel like the knowing that you're doing damage to bodies, you're trying to take care of it, is like, I treat this body with respect. If I'm going to do this, I know I need to take care of it by doing these rehab things after. Whereas some people, I feel like when they're really stuck in the ego, they're like, I don't need that. I'm strong. I got this. Look how good I am. They're not thinking like, hell, my body is taking wear and tear. Like, it does need some, even like,
So many people just came to mind.
yeah, well,
like,
people do that, period. Like, let's say for
not
instance,
even in jiu-jitsu. I'm talking
That's in
about like
life.
people that I know who drink real heavily, and they're like, I'm like, all
people
right.
in life, like, even like, before you go to a fucking music festival, before you go to Disney World, you know how much you're supposed to stretch? You know how much shit you can pull in your legs and feet from
Just from-
extensive walking?
Mhm.
And then we're not stretching. So I'm just like, y'all don't think maybe you should stretch, like, before you go to, like, people, like, I was at Buku.
I did
And I was
yoga
stretching.
both days before and during.
Yeah, I was stretching at Buku, and people kept, like, I literally had 4 people within 10 minutes come up to me and be like, hey, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm just stretching. Like, I was so caught off guard. I was like, are y'all not excited? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm like, I can feel that the back of my knee's tight and my ankle needs some rest. Like, so I'm just stretching. And they're like, okay.
I guess it's just like you're automatic if you see someone on the ground, because most of the times when you see someone on the ground at a music festival, they're like, because like this girl at Buku was literally laying on the ground next to the trash cans, just throwing up. Right, I was like, ooh. And her friend was standing there texting. I immediately went up to her and was like, "Girl, are you okay? Do you need anything?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm just rolling really hard." And I was like, don't miss those days. No. I do not miss that at all. I've been the one on the side of the building throwing up next to the trash can.
I was like, every time you were. What do you mean? I don't know if I've ever seen you take Molly and not puke.
Someone was like, "Did you eat today?" And I was like, "No, I worked." And they were like, "Eat this piece of pizza." And I was like, "I don't want that fucking pizza. Get that out of my face." And I did not eat the pizza. And I was like, how ignorant. I should have ate the pizza.
It happens. It's hard when you're on something, especially that like doesn't make you want to eat. Like eating is weird. Speed is so weird because
bro, if I can force myself to eat and do cocaine, I can force myself to eat on anything.
Oh yeah, I've learned that. But there was a long time where I couldn't eat like cocaine. One time I didn't eat it because of that. Like, 'cause I was like, I cannot eat it. It was so weird. Like, it feels like so hard. And what you tell yourself too. Yeah. You have to also learn like what things are easy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Easy food
and have a lot of water with you. A lot of water. Literally just drink after every sip. Like, it's not that hard.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I have been someone who balled up bread and took it like pills.
I can't say I've ever done that. No.
I just
maybe as a kid, but no.
Oh no, this was not like on drugs. Yeah, no, it's gonna drugs. I started drugs when I was 23, so I was a fully grown adult doing this.
Oh Christ!
Straight up, because I was like, I need something in my body. It was so hard for me to chew. I had heartburn. I was like, something has to go down, and I could not get myself to do it. So I literally just got the bread and balled it up into pills, and I was just taking the pills of bread. Out loud, it really is something.
I'm sure it is. That's hilarious.
At least I got something down.
No, props to you, because I would have just like
a lot of people would just give up. I thought about it, but I was beating myself about it. I was like, better.
Soup is always a go-to. Man, one time
certain soups. Some soups gross me out because of the textures.
No, yeah, I remember one time we all came home. This was the last time that I rolled, I think. And so a big group of us came home New Year's, and Luke had made this big pot of potato soup.
Oh yeah.
You were there, okay?
Yes.
And wasn't it like no, it was really delicious and everybody ate it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm pretty sure everyone ate it, and then we were sad there wasn't more. Yeah. Because then we were like, because everyone ate it, we only had a little bit. Just like we only had a little bit each because we didn't expect everyone to actually eat. Yeah. We're like, oh, we actually all did that today.
Yeah. So that was delicious. One other time he made it, and there was like way too much salt in it, and we couldn't eat it, and it was sad because it was such a good soup.
There's something you could put into to combat it?
No, we tried.
You didn't have any flour?
I don't know how to bake, cook like that.
Well, I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but I know that when I'm trying to combat saltiness, I either add sugar or I add flour. So I'm thinking a soup, it would just kind of make it a little thicker, but it should soak up some of that salt in my head. So if I was there, I'd have been like, put a little flour.
Yeah, I don't know.
Might not work though. Someone would probably like listen to this and probably like that would not work. Probably like that'd be
let us know if adding flour would have worked, guys. Anyways.
We could have saved that soup.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's a good little wrap for today.
Yeah, I don't even know what all to talk about.
It was a great 420 episode.
I think it was great.
We hope y'all enjoyed it.
I think it was great. I think we'll watch it back and be like, wow, we should be stoned every time. Probably not, but
maybe sometimes because we were funny.
I think we're funny. And I think that we transitioned from like the heavy stuff and got really back into fun stuff really easily because we weren't like feeling it as hard, so we could like easily like use medication. I don't give.
I can't believe I cried today. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think you're
really exposing myself. I know.
You
really were surprised by that? A double Pisces? I definitely cry more than you.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Maybe not more, but I probably cry as much as you. I cry randomly throughout the day.
I cry every single day, multiple times.
Probably same, but not like cry. So like,
I'm an emotional person.
all right, well,
But I'm a Pisces moon, so. Yeah.
I'm Pisces moon too, and Pisces sun.
So,
So, and then the Virgo rising is just
that's what makes you less emotional. That's why we're equal. That Virgo pulls you back. Virgo's like, woo!
Hoo-hoo!
that
I want
shit
to
in.
know. Okay, that's fair.
I feel like it's the Libra and Pisces that make me a little crazy, and the Capricorn is what tries to like be like.
Oh yeah, the Libra definitely makes you crazy.
Never met a calm Libra.
I've met like surface calm Libras. Like you think they're calm, and then months into knowing them, and then they explode one day, and you're like, "Oh, you're not calm." But
That's because Libras want to be liked so bad, so they fake it in the beginning. No, I mean I love Libras, but it is because I'm the same way from my Libra rising.
that's fair.
It's like because you're trying so hard, but I've never met a sane Libra. I've never met a male Libra though. To be fair, I've known like
Five
5.
male Libra.
All right.
Anyways, well, I don't even. Oh yeah, I cried before you, so that was, I guess, shocking. But we hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your week. Love and light as always, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Episode 12.